Okay, so we're going to review how to find the theme, and we're going to listen to a new book called Jabari Jumps. Okay, so I want you to remember our steps, and we're going to do one together with this video, and then it's going to be your turn to do one with your small group. All right, everybody ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Mason's ready. Thank you, Cameron and Kate. Thank you, Gabby. Jason, thank you, Cameron. Okay, here we go. So today we're going to find the theme of a book called Jabari Jumps. Okay, so remember our steps for the theme are: step 1, read the entire text. Step 2, summarize the plot. Step 3, decide on big ideas. Step 4, find supporting evidence. We're going to use the story map that you looked at in our last video in order to do step 2, summarize the plot. Okay, so first we'll do step 1 and listen to the story. Today we're going to read Jabari Jumps by Gia Cornwell. I'm going to pause it for a second so that you guys can grab your reader's notebook, because we're going to want to set up a story map. That picture of the story map that I held up, we don't have that worksheet. So instead, we're going to need to set one up in our reader's notebook.
I painted over the spine and look at it. You can see what was in it.
What is it? Oh, tape.
It's paint.
Oh, got it. Okay. So the last page of my reader's notebook is the story map for Ish. So I'm going to turn to the next page, and I'm going to write the story map for Jabari Jumps. Okay, so I'm turning the page from Ish, and I've got a new page, and it's Jabari. I wonder if I have the book handy. I don't think so. Jabari Jumps. Okay. Now let's set this up real quick before we get started, since we don't have that lovely story map sheet. What comes at the top of our story map? Carolina?
The setting and the characters?
Yes, setting and characters. So we've got setting and characters. What comes next, Gabby?
The problem and solution.
Okay, the problem, and then zoop to the solution. So we've got problem, solution. Thank you, Gabby. Problem and solution. And it's really small, so if you want to look back at your previous page for Ish, you can do that. How you doing, Bobby? I can't see you because your camera's off. All right. And Jason Sokill, what comes over here? What do we put over here on this side of our story map? We're on this side.
Events.
Yep.
1, 2, and 3.
Exactly. Events. And we're going to number them 1, 2, and 3 because we don't want 10 events. We just want the beginning, the middle, and the end. All right. Okay, don't freak out if you're not all done. I'll remind you, you have all this on the previous page. And we'll pause throughout the book to make some notes. All right, let's go back to our video. Oop, I spelled it wrong. J-A, Jabari. It says Jabari is almost ready to make a big, brave splash. Jabari jumps. It also says to Larkin, who is already a great jumper, and her big brother Rowan, who uses his bravery every day. I'm jumping off the diving board today, Jabari told his dad. Really? Said his dad. The diving board was high and maybe a little scary, but Jabari had finished his swimming lessons and passed his swimming test, and now he was ready to jump. I'm a great jumper, said Jabari, so I'm not scared at all. Jabari watched the other kids climb the long ladder. They walked all the way out to the end of the board, as big as tiny bugs. Then they stood on the edge. They spread their arms and bent their knees and sprang up, 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 and then they dove down, down, down. Splash! Looks easy, Jabari said. But when his dad squeezed his hand, Jabari squeezed back. Jabari stood at the bottom of the ladder. He looked up. You can go before me if you want, he told the kid behind him. I need to think about what special kind of jump I'm going to do. Jabari thought and thought. Jabari started to climb, up and up. This ladder is very tall, he thought. Are you okay? Called his dad. I'm just a little tired, said Jabari. Maybe you should climb down and take a tiny rest, said his dad. A tiny rest sounded like a good idea. When he got to the bottom, Jabari remembered something. I forgot to do my stretches, he said to his dad. Stretching is very important, said his dad. I think tomorrow might be a better day for jumping, Jabari said. They looked up at the diving board together. It's okay to feel a little scared, said his dad. Sometimes, if I feel a little scared, I take a deep breath and tell myself, I am ready. And you know what? Sometimes it stops feeling scary and feels a little like a surprise. Jabari loved surprises. Jabari took a deep breath and felt it fill his body from the ends of his hair right down to the tip of his toe. Jabari looked up. He began to climb up and up and up and up until he got to the top. Jabari stood up straight, walked all the way to the end of the board. Toes curled around the rough edge. Jabari looked out as far as he could see. He felt like he was ready. I love surprises, he whispered. He took a deep breath, spread his arms out, and bent his knees. Then he sprang up and up off the board, flying. Jabari hit the water with a splash. Down, down, down he went, and then back up. Whoosh. Jabari, you did it, said his dad. I did it, said Jabari. I'm a great jumper. And you know what? What? Said his dad. Surprise! Double backflip is next. Okay, so we're going to move on to summarizing the plot. We want the events, the problem, the solution, and did the character change or learn any lessons? So we're going to begin by filling out our story map. I'm going to start with my name, Corinne, and my class number, and we're going to do the book title, Jabari Jumps. Because this is a book, we underline the title and capitalize each word, and the author is Gia Cornwall. So we know that the first part, the setting, the characters are Jabari and his dad. And where did the story take place? It definitely took place in the swimming pool. So what was the problem? In this text, the problem is really more of a want. The main character, Jabari, wanted to jump off the diving board. All right, what were the events that led to... All right, I want to pause it there for a second so that we have Jabari and his dad. So I have mine on my notebook. I wrote Jabari and his dad in the swimming pool. And then we're going to put that problem in here. Jabari wanted to jump off the diving board. Okay, so we're adding that to our notebook, and I'd like you to add it to your notebook too. Jabari wanted to jump off the diving board. While we're doing that, can anyone tell me why that was a problem? Even though it's like I said in the video, it's kind of more like a want. Carolina, what do you think?
Because he was too scared to jump off.
Yeah.
He wanted to.
It was a big, kind of a big thing, right? He wanted to, but he didn't because he was scared. So that was why it became a problem. All right, let's keep going. To the solution of the problem. Well, we know that the solution was that Jabari actually did jump off the diving board. If we say that Jabari jumped off the diving board is the solution, let's think of 3 main events that led to him jumping off the diving board. You'll remember. I'm covering myself up. So at the bottom, we're going to add the solution was Jabari jumped off the diving board, right? That's what he ended up doing in the end. So we can do our problem and solution first. Sometimes that's okay. Okay, because then it makes you think, what were the main events that really got us to the solution? So in the end, so my solution is Jabari jumps off the diving board. Like this. So the problem was, Sean, he wanted to jump off the diving board, and the solution was he did jump off the diving board. You have that down, Sean, in your reader's notebook? Are you writing this down, Sean? I can tell Mason is working. Cooper. Bobby, I cannot see you. Thank you, Clara. Gabby, do you have a question? Okay. Thanks, Bobby. All right, let's continue. When he first arrived at the pool, he watched the other kids. So after he watched for a little while, he actually climbed up to the top of the diving board. But if you'll remember, he was too scared to jump. All right, so first he watched the other kids. And he climbed up and was too scared to jump. So I'm going to put those as the events on my story map. Hey, Jason.
So I didn't get to see half of it because it was bad connection, so I didn't get to see half of it.
Okay, you'll have to watch the video after, and you can also see it on your schedule.
Okay.
Hey, Sean, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Sean, are you writing this in your reader's notebook?
Did we get the paper or not?
We're writing it. We don't have the paper. We are all writing it in our reader's notebook. Remember when I showed you at the beginning that I was writing this in our reader's notebook and we all copied down the elements of a story map? So we don't have the paper. It's your job to write it in your reader's notebook. Okay? The reader's notebook is the one with the spiral. Are you ready, Lucas? Ready to go on? Great. So can you think in your mind, what is the last event? Yep, that's the one you had before. Now we're writing one on Jabari jumps, John. You write a new one. Okay.
I got the wrong page.
All right, here we go. What was the last thing that happened?
So he came down and talked to his dad. Dad told him that feeling scared is okay. In fact, he said, you know what? Sometimes it stops feeling scary and feels a little like a surprise.
Have you ever thought of that, of being scared as kind of feeling like a surprise? Jabari's dad is a smart man. So I wrote number 3. His dad told him that scared is okay, sort of like a surprise. And remember, you don't have to write in complete sentences when you're making these notes. These are just notes for you. Okay. So that you can remember, because you might want to use these when you write your summary. So I wrote, his dad told him that feeling scared is okay, sort of like a surprise. Okay, and that's what I put for my event number 3.
That helped Jabari have the courage to jump off the diving board. Added just at the bottom of my story map, this little section for changes or lessons. So did our main character change or learn any lessons? I would say yes, that Jabari found the courage and learned that feeling scared is okay.
So thumbs up if you agree that that was a lesson that Jabari learned. That he first, when he was feeling scared, he didn't quite know what to do. But would you agree that by the end, he realized that being scared was okay? Yeah, Clara. Has anyone here had this same kind of experience where you start off scared with about something and then you realize that it's going to be okay and that even feeling scared is okay? Has anyone had that experience? Madison says yes. Yeah, Cameron says yes, I have too. So the lesson is feeling scared is okay. And I'm going to put a little smiley face in my notes so that I can really get the idea that feeling scared is okay. Because we often associate being scared with something bad, right? It's a whole interesting concept, this idea that you can actually be happy to be scared. It's like a surprise. So I put feeling scared is okay. I put a little change in lessons down at the bottom in a cloud because I love clouds. And I put a happy face because I want to remember that he was happy in the end. That was a really important thing. Okay, let's see what else I have to say.
So back to our theme steps, we need to decide on a big idea. So maybe that lesson that Jabari learned is the big idea, that it's okay to be scared and you can still do it, whatever you're feeling scared about, especially if you start thinking about those feelings like excitement or like it's going to be a big surprise. So this one's pretty easy. Step 4, find supporting evidence, because the whole story is really simple and about whether or not Jabari can jump off the diving board. So if we can focus our theme on overcoming that fear, we're probably right on track with our supporting with evidence. Okay, so nice job finding the theme of Jabari jumps.
So what do you think the theme of Jabari Jumps was? Do you agree that the theme was?
I think the story was it's okay to be scared.
Yeah, it's okay to be scared. That's a really good theme and a lesson to learn. Thank you, Kaya. What about you, Maggie?
I think it was that no matter what happens, it's always going to be a surprise at the end.
Oh, it could be a surprise. And a surprise can be good, right?
Yeah.
Good. Carolina, what do you think might be the theme?
I think it's better to try new things.
Ah, I like that theme. That trying new things. Now, and maybe you could even add you're going to find some evidence in this story to support the idea that you might even be scared to try new things, right? And that's okay. Yeah, I like that idea. Thank you. Maggie? Abby?
I think this theme is the same as the lesson. It's okay to be scared.
Yeah, I agree. Gabby, what do you think?
I think it's the same as the lesson. It's okay to be scared when you're doing something that you've never done before.
Yeah, I like it. Jason, what do you think?
You can face your fears sometimes.
Face your fears. That's a good theme. Yeah, I love that idea. Okay, you guys are going to have a chance to practice. Okay, so you can choose if you want to make your notes. You don't have to make your notes to find the theme. Remember, this is just something that we are doing to help us. And then we're also doing it because I'm going to tell you we're going to write a summary on this. And so we want to have our notes on Jabari Jumps. Okay, but I want you to practice theme, and I don't want you to get stuck feeling like you have to take notes. Okay, so like yesterday, I'm going to share my screen with you because I want you to open up your schedule. I'm going to send you to a breakout room, and in your breakout room, you're going to read a short story. So in your schedule at 11:15, if you click on the link, you're going to open this story called The Tale of Peter Rabbit. So you're going to want to have this open on your screen so that you can read it. Mine's going slow. So you're going to want to read it. And some of you in your groups yesterday read it out loud. Some of you took turns, and some breakout rooms I popped into, everyone was reading it quietly, and that's okay too. So you can launch your story. It's taking a little bit of time. So this is called The Tale of Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter. Has anyone read or heard the story of Peter Rabbit before? Okay, it's a classic. Look, it was written in 1902. So I'll read this gray box to you. It says, Beatrix Potter, who lived from 1866 to 1943, was an English writer. That means she lived in England. She was a writer, illustrator, and a natural scientist who was best known for her children's books featuring animals. The following fable was written for the 5-year-old son of Potter's former governess. A governess is like a nanny. The Tale of Peter Rabbit is about a young rabbit and his adventures in Mr. McGregor's garden. As you read, take notes on Peter's character traits throughout the story. So we know the character now. If you wanted to take your notes, you might write the character as Peter. Okay, and I want you to make sure and see that this story has a few pages. It's all spread out though, so it looks longer than it really is. So here's the end. Now this came up yesterday. Don't worry about this little quiz at the end. Okay, for now, I just want you to focus on reading the story. All right. And if you have 3 people in your group, a nice way to divide this up might be that every person reads a page. Okay, that might be a good way to do it. All right, I'm going to send you off into your groups, and you understand that Your goal is to come read the story and discuss and decide on what you think is the theme of the story. Any questions before I send you away?
Miss Crawford?
Yes. So let's chat about your thoughts on the theme. Now, I heard some people kind of talking about theme like the lesson that Peter should have learned, like don't steal food and things like that. But what do you think was the big theme that the reader or the author wants all the readers to learn? Like, I'm not a bunny. I don't need to know that I'm going to lose my clothes if I jump through the fence. What is kind of a big theme for everyone who reads the book? People. Okay, Abby?
Our group thought the theme was two things. So number one, we thought it was don't get into mischief because sometimes bad things will happen.
I like that
And
idea.
then our second one was listen to your parents because you might get in trouble.
I like it. I like both of those themes. Is it possible for a story to have two themes? Yeah, totally. Okay, Abby, I have to ask you or someone from your group to unmute yourself and tell me, what did you discuss as the meaning of mischief? That was a tricky word in the text. What did you decide mischief means?
Like naughty and like getting into like stuff you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, I agree with that. Thank you, Abby. What about you, Lucas? What did you and your group discuss as possible themes for this story?
We said that no matter what, there will be a good consequence or a bad consequence.
Ah, what a neat theme. This idea that every action has a consequence. Nice job. And sometimes the consequences are good, and sometimes the consequences are bad. Brilliant. Nice. Okay, what about your group, Maggie?
Don't get into stuff you're not supposed to.
Yeah, that's a good message. Kind of like what Abby was saying about mischief, right? Don't get into mischief. Don't do naughty things. Good. What about you, Khalil, and your group? What did you discuss and decide?
To not get in people's properties and listen to the first time.
Yeah, some common themes, right? Okay, I like it. Listen to your parents the first time. I like that one. Khalil, that was Khalil. What about you, Gabby?
Listen the first time or it might not end well.
Yeah, back to Lucas's consequences, right? Listen the first time, maybe you'll have a good consequence. And if you don't listen, maybe you'll have a bad consequence. Thanks, Gabby. Bella, what did you and your group discuss?
Don't try not to get into trouble because you might not get out of it.
Ooh, yes. Remember in the beginning, I was in Ari and Nico's group when he read that part about the mom saying your brother ended up in a pie. Did you guys understand that? That she was saying Mr. McGregor, the father, yeah, he actually cooked him into a pie. Obviously, it was not it was like a, have you ever had like a chicken pot pie? Like a savory pie? Well, they made a pie out of the bunny. Ooh, that would be a negative consequence, right, Lucas? Carolina, what did your group discuss and decide?
We said that it's basically like listen to your parents or it's not going to end well.
Yeah, I like every parent should love that theme. Good job, Carolina and group. Kaya, what did your group discuss and decide?
We kind of decided on like we should always listen to your mom.
Mom is always right. This makes me think of Rapunzel, right? And her mom in that movie. What's the movie called? Not Rapunzel, but
Tangled.
And she has that whole song like Mother Knows Best. One of my favorite songs. Cooper, what did your group discuss and decide?
I forgot to put my hand down. I was in Abby's group.
No problem. Naya, what did your group discuss and decide? Okay, thank you. What about you, Jason Sokill? Do you have another idea for a theme that your group discussed?
Well, don't risk things
things that may get you into a grave or into a pub.
Oh, I love your idea about risk. Risk is kind of a big topic and goes along with those consequences. Like some risks are worth taking, right? But some risks are not worth taking. If the risk is like a potential risk of death, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe. I like it. You guys are so smart. You're doing such a great job with the idea of theme. Nice job. All right, before we go anywhere, let's look at our schedule and see what's next. I can stop this.